I'm Justin Moore. Welcome to Creator Wizard, your step-by-step guide to the business of being a creator. Today, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of formalizing your creator business legally by forming an LLC or an S Corp, or can you just stay a sole proprietor? Thousands of dollars in tax savings are at stake, so stay tuned. In this video, you're going to learn the differences between an LLC, an S Corp, and a sole proprietorship, which business type is best for influencers, when is the right time to form an LLC or S Corp, how to find someone to help you set one up, and how to save thousands of dollars in taxes by setting up your influencer business properly. Before we get started, if you want insider tips on how to grow your business as a creator and diversify your income, click the link in the description to join our free newsletter, and you'll also get a downloadable glossary of over 40 influencer marketing buzzwords, acronyms, and lingo that every creator should know. I also want to give a disclaimer that I'm not a CPA or a licensed tax professional or a lawyer, and a lot of this information will be geared towards creators in the United States. So for advice on your specific financial situation, it's always best to consult a professional in your area. So let's talk about what it means to be a sole proprietor. So the moment that you start making money on YouTube through revenue share or selling merch, or doing a brand deal on Instagram, you are by default a sole proprietor. So sole meaning it's just you, right? So there's no special paperwork you need to fill out. That's just the classification. So when tax time rolls around, you will be taxed the same as if you had a traditional 9-to-5 job, right? You'll be paying federal income tax and probably state income tax if you live in a state where there's income tax, and then an employment tax called FICA, which is around 15%. It's like Social Security, Medicare, and so on. So what is an LLC? So an LLC is also known as a limited liability company, and it has a couple of advantages. So it creates a separate entity that is distinct from you. So as the name sounds, one of the most important pros is that if you get sued by someone, let's say it's like a brand deal gone wrong or something, they can't come after your personal assets like your house or something. They can only come after the assets of your LLC, which will probably just be like the cash that's in the company's bank accounts, which as a side note is a good reason to not keep much cash on the books in your business accounts. So when tax time rolls around for your LLC, it acts as what's called a pass-through entity, meaning your profits, your revenue minus your expenses of the business, pass through directly to your personal income. So if you also have a 9-to-5, it just gets added to the top of that and taxed at your normal personal income tax rate. So you're probably thinking, why would I need an LLC if the income gets passed through just like being a sole proprietor? Well, aside from the legal protections an LLC can offer, there is something called an S Corp election that you can make. An S Corp election allows you to be treated as both an owner of the LLC and an employee of the LLC. And the reason that that's important is that you can now pay yourself what the IRS calls a reasonable salary, and also give yourself what are called shareholder distributions, where you pay yourself money that is not subject to that 15.3% self-employment tax. Did I lose you? Okay, let me break it down. Let's say you're on track to make $75,000 profit this year from being an influencer. That's $90,000 revenue minus, let's say, $15,000 in expenses. I'll be ignoring state income tax or other deductions for this example. If you're a sole proprietor and you're filing single, your federal tax rate will be 22% or $16,500 in taxes. Your FICA, which is 15.3%, will be $11,475, which makes your total federal tax rate $27,975. However, if you have an LLC with an S Corp election, you can pay yourself a reasonable salary of, let's say, $45,000. So that's 22% for your federal taxes, 15.3% for FICA. So your total taxes would be $16,785. But wait, your shareholder distribution will be $30,000, and it's taxed at just 22% or $6,600, making your total taxes $23,385. That's a tax savings of $4,590. There's a couple caveats here. So remember when I said that in an LLC with an S Corp election, you have to pay yourself a reasonable salary? Well, you can't just pay yourself $1,000 in payroll the entire year and take a $74,000 distribution, right? Like that's going to raise a red flag to the IRS and increase your risk of getting audited. But as long as you're paying yourself something reasonable, a good rule of thumb would be at least half of your annual profit, you should be good to go. Another thing to consider is that maintaining an LLC is a little more complicated than having a sole proprietorship, right? You'll have to have payroll now, so you may need a provider like ADP, which costs money, is around $50 a month or so. And you have to file a separate tax return for the LLC. So that's in addition to your personal return. So, if you don't want to do that yourself, you're going to have to pay your tax person to prepare the return. And there may be other fees too, like in the state of California, you have to pay a minimum of $800 just for having an LLC every year, even if you don't make any money. So, that money can all add up. And so you'll want to make sure that the tax savings that you're going to get will be more than the cost of the logistics of having the LLC, right? So a good rule of thumb is that it'll likely cost maybe $1,500 a year to maintain. But I bet you can see pretty easily that as you start making more money and you get into different tax brackets, the amount of money that you can save starts becoming seriously significant. So which business type is best for influencers? So for all intents and purposes, if you're making less than $60,000 a year, being a sole proprietor should be totally fine. You should probably be able to go several years like this. But once you start making more money as an influencer, it may be time to start thinking about the other types of business structures like an LLC or an S Corp that can benefit you. So how can you find someone as a creator to help you set up an LLC or an S Corp? So pretty much any corporate lawyer in your area should be able to help you set up the legal structure of your business for anywhere between, $1,000 to $3,000. I would honestly ask family and friends if they have any lawyers that they can recommend, or you could even look on Yelp. There are lots of legal services online these days that can do it for much cheaper, of course, but the only caution that I would give is that online legal services tend to be pretty boilerplate, and customizing anything about your situation starts adding to the cost. So you'll want to consider that when setting everything up. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I would love for you to subscribe and click the notification bell to be alerted every time I upload a new video. And please leave a comment down below if you have any questions or future video ideas, and you are one step closer to becoming a creator wizard. Don't forget, if you want insider tips on how to grow your business as a creator and diversify your income, click the link in the description to join our free newsletter. You'll get exclusive videos, worksheets, and insights on the influencer marketing landscape, access to special product discounts, first look at upcoming courses, and more.